In the wave of unrest following the death of George Floyd, rioters and looters tore a destructive path through sections of Minneapolis. A lot of businesses were vandalized that night. The police department's 3rd precinct, where those officers who were involved in the Floyd killing, was overtaken. It was damaged and it was set ablaze. Tonight, for the very first time, the officers of that precinct are speaking out about the total breakdown of law and order and who set it in motion. Correspondent Mike Tobin investigates from Minneapolis tonight. Mike.
Martha, like you said, for the first time, we're getting the police side of what happened the night Minneapolis, even the precinct here, was overrun with vandals and looters. And what we hear from the police union, even officers who were here, is when the going got tough, leadership in the city collapsed. Police officers say the retreat from Minneapolis 3rd Precinct was planned in advance.
At about 9:30 Thursday morning, I was instructed to go remove some of the mobile cameras out of the parking lot of the 3rd Precinct because the plan was in the works to not defend it anymore that day.
I came in for my board meeting at noon. I was asked if I emptied my locker, and I said no. And they said, well, you need to go empty your locker. They're giving up the precinct.
4 officers unable to clean out their lockers were those charged in connection with the death of George Floyd. Their gear was some of the body armor, radios, and even weapons that went out the door. When Brandon Wolf, an alleged looter and arsonist, was arrested, police say he was wearing the body armor of Officer Tutau.
Our understanding was it was going to be a symbolic victory for the rioters, that we would give them something because it was the 3rd Precinct that the officers worked out of that were involved. And then that would quell the disturbance and they would stop rioting and take it as a victory and go away.
It didn't work. The next day, State Patrol troopers and the National Guard established a perimeter and a curfew. The line fell apart. No curfew was enforced, and Minneapolis burned.
The biggest failure that I observed would have been the communication, not just between our front office, our admin, down to the officers on the ground, but across, to the State Patrol, with the National Guard.
The Police Officers Federation claims a total failure of leadership, absence of direction, and a lack of equipment because city leaders feared a police force that looked militarized.
They felt vulnerable and they felt abandoned. Cops want to know what in the hell happened. Why weren't we given directives to do anything? Why couldn't we defend ourselves?
Now, with the Minneapolis City Council looking to disband the department entirely, police say the morale of the rank and file is at an all-time low, and gun violence has spiked in Minneapolis, with more than 100 people shot since George Floyd was killed.
They don't need to get rid of us. They need to get more of us, because there's nobody out here equipped to handle what's happening in our city better than the police officers in our city.
Now, the police union rebuffs claims of racism or that they protect bad cops. Like everyone, leaders in the union say they were horrified at that video of George Floyd being killed. Still, the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association is obligated to provide a legal defense to all police officers, including those accused in this case, and they intend to honor that obligation. Martha?
A remarkable interview and story. Thank you so much, Mike Tobin.